What's up? Excuse me. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Hey. Happy Saturday. Y'all, I feel so much better today than I did yesterday. I guess that ginger tea and a good night's sleep knocked it right on out of me because knock on wood, I feel a lot better. But with that being said, let's jump into it. Belle Collective, this was last night's episode, season 5, episode 6. Now, look, this review, it probably ain't gonna take that long because honestly, it's a whole lot of stuff that just wasn't that it ain't nothing to talk about, right? But the stuff that I do need to talk about, oh, we gonna talk about it, okay? So the ladies on their way to New Orleans. Now listen, you know what I find interesting? Here's what I find interesting. So the ladies are going to New Orleans. Well, the group, they're taking a group trip to New Orleans. New Orleans is only about a 2.5-hour bus ride. Y'all know bus rides, you got to always add a good hour to it. And then they stop at the Whitney Plantation. So you probably got to add another 2 more hours to that by the time they stop, went through the tour, went through the gift shop, whatever, right? So it probably took them about 5 hours to get from Jackson to New Orleans. I think that's a pretty good road trip. They were on a little party bus. They had snacks and drinks and all of that. And they really looked like they were having a good time. So the couples rolled down the night before, and they're staying at an Airbnb. Marie, Tambra, and Selena, we're going to get to that later. They came down the next day because they were not a couple. Now, technically, Selena is a couple, but I guess they was pushing their luck by inviting Selena, so they didn't want to force that. Tambra got a man, we don't know. We don't even, but remember, he had to work, so there you have it. Now, Cliff said he didn't want to go on this trip. He said the only reason why he going on the trip is because his wife didn't want to go by herself. On the bus, there seemed to be some issues, okay? Now, first of all, we have Latrice talking about some, oh, well, we couldn't go to the Bahamas or something, Jamaica, Belize. I mean, and then you have Akeisha that was excited as hell. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to go. I'm so excited to go to New Orleans. This is going to be a great opportunity for us to get together and bond and da-da-da-da-da. And I found that to be very interesting because then on the bus, you got Cliff and Glenn talking about Willie and Akeisha act like they better than us. Willie and Akeisha act like they above this. Willie and Keisha, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, but Willie and Keisha were the ones, well, at least Akeisha, were the ones that was down for the get down to go to New Orleans on the party bus. They weren't complaining. They didn't say anything. Yet the person, your wife, is the one talking about, oh my gosh, we can't go to the Bahamas or something. So I was just like, I just feel like Cliff has decided he does not like, and we're going to get to that later on. But I feel like Cliff has decided he just don't like Willie, and it really doesn't matter what Willie does or says. Now, do I think that Willie has made some comments that in his confessional or whatever that could probably make Cliff feel some kind of way? I can understand why Cliff could feel some kind of way. I do. I ain't going to lie. Willie has made some comments. But I don't think it's an overall Willie thinks he's better. I just think Willie thinks he's better than Cliff. Is that wrong? I feel like he just think he better than Cliff. But let's just call a thing a thing. Most of us think we better than Cliff because so moving right along. They're on the bus, and then we bring up the whole Glenn thing with Glenn and this whole entrepreneur situation. You know, again, I ain't mad at Glenn for deciding he wanted to do his own thing. But the reality of the situation is there was a way to do this in a way that, one, would have been inclusive of your family and your wife, and two, wouldn't have put your family and your wife in a bad situation, right? So the fact that you are grown now and the fact that you have grown man responsibilities, there was a way to handle that without putting your health insurance, your 401k, and all of that stuff in jeopardy, right? The way they explained to us the way that he works was he worked like 10 days on and then he would be home for 2 weeks. What's wrong with starting your business in those 2 weeks that you're home? Because I get it. He works really hard when he's out on the boat for those 10 days straight. And he does need to, he does need a little to rest himself or whatever. But at this point, you've created responsibilities, which JJ reminds him about later on in this episode. But you've already created responsibilities. So you have a child, you have a wife, you have created bills and certain things that your paycheck takes care of. So when you're home for those 2 weeks, that's when you gotta grind. That is what it is. That's what it is. And that's what the situation you created. So, do I think that Letitia was totally in the dark? No, I think a lot of this is for the purposes of a storyline. I think a lot of this is for the purposes of production. But I do think that Willie jumped out the window based off of what Letitia is doing and that they can sustain it until he gets his business off the ground. That's my 2 cents. Taking the cameras away from it, I think that they based him jumping off into his entrepreneurial situation. I think they based it off of what they think their finances could sustain based off of what Letitia is doing. That's my opinion. But moving right along. They stopped at the Whitney Plantation. As a historian, I would never say that this is not important. As someone who loves history, who studies history, I would never say that this is not a great experience. What I am going to say is, from the point of view of a reviewer, as somebody who watches reality TV shows, child, everybody go to New Orleans got to go to the Whitney Plantation. I'm glad they went. Here's why that don't move me when it comes to reality TV. Because they go through this experience and they talk about how it's changed them and how important it is and our ancestors and what our ancestors went through and why we work hard and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And 5 minutes later, they back arguing, fussing, and fighting. So honestly, they say what needs to be said. They make it sound good. They make it look good for the cameras, but it really don't change none of them. And that's why it don't move me. Again, do I think it's a great experience for them to go to the Whitney Plantation? Yes, great. I hope they learn something. I do think it's a shame that they live within 2 hours of the Whitney Plantation and they asses ain't never been, but that ain't my business. And I ain't judging nobody. I'm just making a statement. Now, we also find out that on the night that they're going to that Latrice and Glenn are going to open up and Cliff are opening up their bar, they are also going to be celebrating Glenn's birthday party. I don't think that's a great idea. And we'll talk about that. And we all know that some shit went down that night that ended up not being great. So we'll get to that later. But I thought that Latrice had a valid point about why are we, it's our grand opening. Why are we having our grand opening mixed with somebody's birthday party? And we're going to be filming it. It's just a lot to be doing. And it wasn't a conversation. Cliff didn't have a conversation with Latrice. Latrice also did not know that Cliff took his ass over to Leticia's office to talk to her about her husband's entrepreneurship. Now, on one hand, I don't know why that was a big deal for Latrice, but it was. So I don't understand why it was a big deal, but I can't tell nobody what to be irritated or upset about when it comes to their marriage and communication in their marriage. But I told y'all on the first episode, and I meant what I said on the first episode, I'm not going to sit here and listen to Latrice complain about this marriage because she doesn't want her marriage to be a conversation. She doesn't want the other people to chime in on her marriage, yet and still she wants to continuously use her marriage as a storyline. You can't have it both ways. If you're going to discuss your marriage and you're going to make your marriage a storyline, then you don't get to tell other people what they can and can't say and what opinions they can and cannot have. That's how I feel about it. I know a lot of people ain't feeling Heavenly, and I know a lot of people don't like Heavenly, but the one thing Heavenly has been consistent about down to the Married to Medicine is that her marriage is not a storyline, and she will never sell her marriage for a storyline. So when she comes out here swinging for daddy and swinging for her marriage and swinging for that, it's because she has never allowed it to be a storyline. Now, have the other women tried to make it a storyline? Sure. Has production tried to make it a storyline? Sure. But she has never played a part in it being a storyline. And so for her, I ain't saying I agree with everything that Dr. Heavenly says or does, but I do understand why she swings the way she swings when they come for her marriage, because she has never, ever made it her storyline. Whereas Latrice, every episode this season, you have made comments about you and your husband's marriage, y'all communication, the things, the way he talks to you, the disrespect. It ain't changing. So my thing is, if you don't want us to talk about it, then you need to stop using it. Find another storyline, boo. Find something else to talk about. If you can't find nothing else to talk about, then you can't be mad at these ladies for talking about it. That's all I'm going to say. Moving right along. So, we get to the house. Everybody get their room. Y'all know how I feel about these people going on these group trips and fighting over rooms. I'm just glad we ain't have to go through no whole back and forth about these rooms, okay? Now, Gucci did say something about do the rooms have a bidet. Girls, go sit down somewhere. You grew up in freaking Mississippi. You did not grow up in no house with a bidet. Your ass went to Dubai one time, had a bidet in your damn bedroom, and now in your bathroom, and now all of a sudden, does it have a bidet? What house in New Orleans gonna have a bidet? Girl, stop. Talking about how many square footage is our bedroom. Girl, if you don't go sit down somewhere, people be... See, that's what I'm saying. See... It always be new money that got to talk so much shit. It always be new money. Does it have a duvet? How much square footage? It's the bedroom. Who even talks like that? Who gets an Airbnb and wants to know the square footage of the bedroom? I mean, I get it that she's a real estate agent, so maybe that's how her mind thinks. But girl, hey, y'all coming in. Hey, everybody. Child, moving right along. You can tell Sharon, right? She ain't never really been nowhere, because if you've been somewhere, then you would know that that's really a European thing. Like most, unless it's a modern house or has been renovated recently, most people do not have no duvets in their damn house. Like, that is just not how we... Girl, bye. I like Sophia and JJ. I don't dislike Sophia and JJ, but I'm just, y'all know I can look at situations piece by piece, honey. The room conversation on reality TV is intentional. ATP. What ATP mean, Lock Queen? Yeah. So moving right along. Latrice tries to talk to her husband about what she said about, her feeling some kind of way. Oh, I'm sorry. Can we do a rewind? So Latrice had a first line band waiting for them when they got to New Orleans. Is it me? Or was that the driest New Orleans band y'all have ever seen in y'all life? I have not. Bidet. Am I saying it wrong? See, I'm not even saying it right my damn self. Bidet. Thank you, Nita. Bidet. I was saying duvet, wasn't I? See? Itty bitty, you won. Did you get the word that you won? The members only over on the other channel. You won day 3. So email me an address where you want me to send your gift. You won this book right here, my love. You won this book right here. Sister to Sister, Achieving Your Brilliance, A Woman's Guide to Self-Care Mindset, Mastery, and Goal Achievement. So email that to me. Thank you. You know how when you saying something, it didn't sound right? It didn't sound right when I was saying it, but yeah, bidet. I was saying duvet. I was talking about a cover. I was talking about a cover. A duvet is a cover. A blanket. See what I'm saying? I don't even pretend. I know what one is. I have stayed in places that have bidets. But I know what a bidet is versus a duvet. I was just saying it wrong. Thank y'all for... See, I love y'all. Thank y'all for getting me together. And anybody that's watching this on the replay, don't put it in the comments. I done already corrected myself now. You knew what I meant, but you chuckled. Yeah. Do they even have bidets at home? But talking about, they don't. You know that JJ and Sophia don't have no bidet in their house. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been told that JJ really does make good money. His business is very profitable, and he really does make good money. But no, they don't. And if they do, I promise you, it's only been put into that house recently. Like, they had one for longer than 4 years. If they have one, I'm going to say 4 years. I'm going to say 4 years. If they have one. I mean, if you follow their social media, you know they went to Dubai last year. Yeah, JJ makes good money. So they can afford it. Don't get me wrong. I ain't questioning whether they can afford it. I'm just saying they ain't got it. Moving right along. What does JJ do? He does stonework, right? Doesn't he do like that, like stonework, like masonry type work? If I remember correctly, I believe he does like stonework. And Cliff, from my understanding, Cliff's business does very well. He does yard work. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Shit, I can't get it out, y'all. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Damn it. And he gets contracts with the city and state, so you know he's making good money, child. That's steady money. That's good money and steady money. But Cliff does landscaping. Thank you, Lock Queen. I could not get it out. And my understanding is that Cliff's business makes good money, right? So these men they're making decent money, right? Good money. I shouldn't even say decent money. They're making good money. Like, they are making good money. So Latrice and, like I said, I ain't gonna spend too much time on it, but Latrice and Cliff get into an argument, child. And then Latrice did something that I hate. When I tell you I hate, especially on camera. I cannot stand to see these women when they emasculate these men. So Latrice decides she's done with the conversation. She picks up her phone, say, I'm done. Cliff gets up and leaves. She says, well, there are other rooms here. He said, well, you can pick you one. Basically letting her know, I'm not leaving this room. You can leave. I ain't leaving. And then she says, with your old weak ass. See, I don't like that. Because, and if I'm putting 20 on 10, y'all tell me, say, really, B, you kind of putting 20 on 10. If I'm putting 20 on 10, tell me I'm putting 20 on 10. But when I heard her say that, in my mind, I was like, okay, you a young girl. He's an older guy. You throwing out there with your old weak ass. I feel like there's an undertone there. Y'all know y'all know the undertone I'm saying, right? Y'all know the undertone I'm talking about. La Queen said, I don't like Cliff, but it was cringe. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like it, but again, I'm sure if that's what they do on camera, who knows what they do when the cameras ain't rolling, child. Hey, Xavier. Hey, boo. So he called her little bitch. So it seems fair. He did. Oh, I missed that, Nita. I missed him calling her out her name. You talking about in that argument, or you talking about from last season? Because last season, I know he did call her out her name, but I didn't hear him do it on that argument. I mean, I'm not saying that makes it okay, because like you said, child, if he did it then, he'll do it again. But Latrice was trying to show her she got a backbone. We're wrong about her house. It's really Rant. Josh ain't lying on y'all. Josh ain't lying. Joshy ain't lying. Last season. Okay, well, I'm talking about, I ain't doing that. I ain't going back to last season. I'm talking about that particular argument in that moment. But I understand what you're saying. It's awfully convenient that she got some fighting her after the allegations. Okay. So the next morning we wake up and the ladies, JJ and Soguchi, they had a chef come in. Plus she picked his whole weak ass. She did. Half pin, she did. And so I thought that was cute. I thought that was cute that that the ladies, that they treated them to breakfast, even though they were on their way to a brunch. But y'all know, like I know, that this was probably first thing in the morning. The ladies still had to go through glam. They had to get their hair and their makeup done. Looked like they were already started, but they had to finish with glam and get dressed and get over there and get production. So it probably was going to be about another 4 or 5 hours before they actually ate. Because I know at first I was like, why y'all getting breakfast and y'all about to go to brunch? But child, that brunch probably started at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, child. That was probably 10 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, so so we get over to the venue. And here's where the episode really gets good. So you really could have fast forwarded about the first 30 minutes because really won't nothing going on. Tambra, Selena, and Marie are down to the venue waiting for the ladies to get there. And we already had this conversation earlier this week, and I'm not gonna belabor the statement because we kind of already had this conversation. But here's my problem. Leticia and production. Let me pull my mic out. Leticia and production had Selena come down to this damn event, and she makes up something for Selena to do. I want her to be a greeter. Don't nobody need no damn greeter. Now, if you want to have a welcome desk, if you want to have whatever, but you didn't need to create a whole moment for Selena to be there, right? This was an opportunity for production to force Selena onto us and have her there. Now, I know, again, I think some of y'all get caught up in whether you think So Gucci was right or wrong, whether you think So Gucci started the argument or started the fight with Selena. I think a lot of y'all are getting caught up in whether you like So Gucci or not. That's not the point. The point is, So Gucci had a piece of paper, a legal piece of paper from the government of the state of Mississippi that had guidelines about when, where, and how her and Selena were supposed to be around each other. Now, it was not as strict as a straight up restraining order. It is a no contact order. And there are certain parameters in that. I think they're supposed to keep a certain amount of feet away from each other, and they're not supposed to engage with each other for a certain amount of time. And once that expired, then and there were no more incidences, then they were free to roam around and be around each other as much as they wanted. My issue from the beginning of this, and I'm going to stand by my issue, because if you go back and look at my reviews from last year, I didn't agree with So Gucci getting the paperwork. I didn't agree with her pressing charges. I thought she was wrong. I still don't agree with her doing that, but that doesn't change the fact that she did it, and she has a piece of paper from the court. This is not a suggestion. This came from a judge that heard both sides of the story, probably viewed the footage, and made a decision. Now, we did hear So Gucci say last week, or the week before last, I don't remember which episode it was. So Gucci said, well, my lawyer said if I want to be around her, I can, but that's up to me. Which means that her attorney said, look, basically, I'm sure what her attorney told her when she found out Selena was filming was, you can still film with her if you want to, but if you choose to film with her, then if you voluntarily choose to be around her, it could nullify this order. That's probably what her attorney told her, which again brings me back around to why she was probably very hesitant to voluntarily film with Selena. Again, it's not about whether people, because I still have people in my comments after my video the other day, but So Gucci ain't scared of her. So Gucci ain't this. So good. Y'all keep getting caught up on. See, y'all are at the beginning of the story, child. We at the end. Y'all are at the beginning of the story, and we are at the end of the story. And at the end of the story, she got the paperwork. It doesn't matter whether you like that she got the paperwork. It doesn't matter whether you agree that she's got the paperwork. She got the paperwork. And so now production being so fucking desperate to create this moment, you have now brought this woman 2.5 hours away to film this damn brunch. And this is how you know they were being sneaky, because they didn't tell So Gucci or JJ. By Leticia's own words, they did not tell So Gucci or Leticia, or JJ, that woman was going to be at that brunch. Then they get to the brunch. So Gucci and JJ get to the brunch. Not only do you force that woman in their face because you made her the greeter, now you put her at the table with So Gucci because she's one of the Belles, and all the Belles were at the same table. So now that woman got to sit at the table with her. Baby, JJ said, let's go. JJ said, I'm ready to go. And Leticia and production got so in they damn feelings. Leticia talking about some, my feelings are really hurt. How your feelings gonna be hurt? You pulled the okie doke. You was down with the bullshit. You conspired. You were sneaky and conniving. And now you mad because it didn't end the way you wanted it to end. So now your feelings are hurt. Your feelings are hurt. You tried to trick this woman into being around a woman that she has told, and then she told you at the improv class last week or last episode, she told you she did not want to be around this woman. So I don't care whether So Gucci started the fight with Selena. I honestly don't anymore. I told y'all last year how I felt about the fight, and I didn't agree with her pulling out the paperwork. I thought it was a bad move, especially if you're trying to bring the families together. But on the flip side of the situation, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we are what we are now. And I feel like that's disrespectful as fuck on behalf of production, Carlos King, and Leticia. Because let me tell you why. Because Leticia, you didn't have to do it. You could say, look, I ain't trying to get in the middle of that. But instead, not only have you allowed yourself to be used and put in the middle of it, now you act like you mad because this shit don't go the way you wanted it to go. Now, let me tell y'all something about JJ. Let me tell y'all something about JJ. JJ seems like a really laid back dude. And what I mean by that is he seemed like he always down for a good time. He's silly. Don't seem like he take a whole lot serious. He want everybody to have a good time. He the kind of guy seem like if you invite him over to your house, he wants to make sure that everybody's having a good time. He gonna get your favorite drinks at the bar. He gonna make sure that if you're a vegetarian, he gonna make sure he got some tofu for you. He seemed like that type of dude, right? Look, maybe even a little borderline buffoonerish, right? Men like that, you need to be very careful when they get upset. Men like that, you need to be very careful because he doesn't get angry often. From what we see, he don't take a lot of stuff to heart. From what we see, we know that he don't mind being the butt of the joke. He know people clown him about his hair, maybe even about his gap. They clown him about his vernacular. They clown him about. He don't care. From what we have seen on camera, that shit don't bother. He don't care about none of that. He don't care about none of that. But we have only seen him be mad 2 times on this show with all of the bullshit that go on this show. And baby, New Orleans, he was mad. It wasn't no smile on his face. It wasn't no gosh darn it. It wasn't none of that. JJ was like, I'm ready to go. And the way you know that So Gucci know her man, because baby So Gucci said, we leaving. Auntie Netta said nobody's forcing So Gucci to film. Well, she left. She didn't. That's the second time she has walked away. She left. You're right. Nobody's forcing her to film. She left. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Nobody's forcing her to film. She didn't. She left. So as for the rest of the brunch, it looks like they had a full house. Really nice. Tambra hosted. We know she hosts all her stuff, you know. And then she gave a Businessman of the Year award to Cliff. I mean, okay then. Now, I do like what Cliff said, though. I do like what Cliff said. Basically, what Cliff said, if at first you don't succeed, pick yourself up and try again. The life of an entrepreneur ain't always easy, but you got to stay the course. I mean, if we cut through his... That's what he said. And I thought it was really nice. Okay, I really thought it was nice. He said, ain't nothing wrong with failing. Try it again. And, you know, one time, and I know this probably ain't a good time to be quoting Diddy. But I remember one time Diddy posted on his Instagram, this was years ago. He said, people don't post their failures. I'm saying Glenn, I meant Cliff. Lord, y'all, child, I mean Cliff. And he's right. Especially when you talk about entrepreneurs. People don't post their failures. We saw the shout out to Nell and Chris with their cameos from Love and Marriage Huntsville. So then we go downstairs and there's looks like there's a hall set up downstairs where all the ladies can highlight their businesses. And Marie's stuff is not there. Now, I think Marie is 100% within her rights to be irritated that everybody else's shit was there except for hers. However, I don't know enough of the story to know why her stuff was not there. Because Leticia was like, everybody bought their stuff got set up. And Marie said, my stuff is here. Where's my stuff? And Leticia's assistant, executive director, whoever, couldn't find the stuff. And for whatever reason, it didn't seem like they knew where the stuff was. Now, the only reason why I'm not going, because let me say this. If Marie followed the instructions and provided her banner and provided all of the paperwork and stuff that she wanted, all the advertisements and stuff that she wanted on her table, and her table was not set up, then that was wrong. And yes, Leticia, it falls on you because it's your event. However, because we never saw what really happened, I don't know whose fault it was. Marie might not have put her stuff where she was supposed to put her stuff. Marie might not have bought her stuff early enough for it to get set up before the cameras got there. Like, I don't know. And the fact that Marie seemed to get over it as fast as she did makes me feel like this was not on Leticia. That maybe Marie realized that she ain't do nothing. She didn't do something she was supposed to do. The fact that Marie got over it, because we know Marie will hold on to some shit. And the fact that they were on the bus a few minutes later and Marie got to laughing when Glenn made a joke about it and she was laughing, it makes me think that there was really just a misunderstanding and a mix-up. And it just was that what it was. Because, like I said, we didn't see Marie hold on to something. And especially something like that where everybody's stuff was there except for hers. We have seen Marie take that and hold on to that for damn 5 episodes and make it out and cuss everybody out. And the fact that we came back and she was just like on her phone on the bus and laughing and was riding back with the rest of them back to the house. And we didn't hear about it again. Like, she ain't say nothing else about it the rest of the night. Like, I just, it really makes me feel like either A, maybe we really are getting a kinder, gentler Marie, or they figured out what the problem was and it really was Marie a mix-up, or really Marie didn't do something she was supposed to do. That's the only thing I could think of. I've never known an event where the host is responsible for setting up booths, but that's just me. No, it's not that she's responsible for setting up the booth, but ultimately the fault is going to come back to her. Ultimately, though, the fault, if you're the person, if it's your event, then you're responsible. If it's your event and everybody else's stuff got set up and yours didn't, then you're responsible for making sure your stuff got set up. I think what happened was her stuff came separate because she was separated the couples from the singles. That might be what it was, Nita. That might be what it was. And again, like I said, I really think it was something really, I really think it was something that wasn't. The fact that Marie backed down the way she did makes me feel like it was something that was resolved off camera and it won't that deep. Like they got it resolved. Like I said, either that or it was a scheme set up by Todd to come nuts with the bullshit and they just let it go. I don't know. But I'm not gonna go in on it the way because I don't have enough information for me to say, yeah, this is what happened, that's what happened, and it should have happened this way. I don't have enough information, honestly. But it does sound like Marie was supposed to provide her stuff and the girl said she ain't have it. So somewhere between A and B, something got lost. And like I said, I just don't know whose fault it was, but I'm gonna let it go. Marie let it go, so child, I'm gonna let it go. You know what I'm saying? So we heading back to the house and the fellas immediately go back out. They don't even change their clothes, child. The fellas go back out. The ladies are going to hang out. They're going to have a pool party. And first they're going to work out. So Gucci got them doing a workout. Child. I don't care. Moving right along. I don't care about the workout. We'll get to the pool party later. First of all, that's the driest pool party I ever seen. I don't feel like that was a pool party. I feel like that was we're gonna go to the pool and put our feet in the water party. I did not see nobody put on no bathing suit. They went straight from that little workout straight to the pool. They ain't go put on no bathing suits. They just went and go put their feet in the water. So we'll get back to that. I ain't hear no music playing. I mean, they had drinks and stuff, I get it. I get it that they were at an Airbnb and they probably couldn't go full on, full blast. But still, we're going to get back to that pool party. The fellas go out. Now, let me tell y'all something. When I was looking at this scene, all I kept thinking was, we worried about Selena and So Gucci, and we need to be worried about Cliff and Willie. All I kept thinking was, we worried about Selena and So Gucci, and we need to be worrying about Cliff and Willie. Because they're at the table talking, and Glenn tries to come at JJ about why he left the brunch, and he shouldn't have left the brunch, and this, and this, and this, and that. And basically, JJ was like, until you walk the mile in my shoes, don't judge me about how I handle my business. Like he said, you don't have what I have. You don't have a blended family. You got one child by the same woman, and whatever you do, it only affects those two people. I have a whole blended situation. We've been doing this for years. Don't judge me about how I'm handling or why I'm moving the way I'm moving. He was like, you don't see me telling you that you shouldn't have quit your job and you shouldn't have put your family's health care in jeopardy, and now your wife got to come up with $4,000 to pay for this procedure that she got to have because you ain't take care of your business and handle things in the order in which you should have handled it. You don't hear me talking. He said, you don't hear me telling you how you should be handling your business, so don't come over here telling me how I need to be handling mine. Baby, that thing was funny to me because, baby, JJ went all the way. JJ went all the way in. And Glenn was like, see, this the difference between men. We can tell each other how we feel and it don't turn into nothing. It don't turn into nothing. Yeah, Glenn, it don't turn into nothing because JJ checked your ass. And it wasn't nothing for it to turn into because you couldn't say shit to that. So then they got to talking to Willie. and Cliff. And basically Cliff was like, I mean, I'm cool with JJ. I don't like Willie. And Willie was like, I'm okay with that. Baby, when Willie said, I'm okay with that. Like, you don't like me? I'm cool with that. Baby, when he said I'm okay with that, that shit cracked me up. Because Willie was like, I'm good with you not liking me. And then Willie said, and please know that when I played in the NFL, I was a dirty player. I wasn't a nice guy. So, and I feel like that was his warning. I feel like that was his warning. He said, I wasn't a nice player. I wasn't a nice guy. So I said, oh, Lord. So I said, that's what we need to be worried about. Now, we know that later on this at the end of this season, there is a situation, there is an altercation at the opening of the restaurant that does involve Willie, Glenn, and Cliff. So I guess things came to a head at that event, and we'll see that play out later on. But baby, I said, when you hear these guys talking, they keeping it real cute, but you can tell they just don't like each other. They just don't like each other. Now back over to the house. The ladies are in the pool. They don't put their feet in the pool. They talking about who can swim, who can't swim. We actually see Marie and Latrice having a nice moment. And in real time, let me just tell y'all, in real time, Latrice and Marie are good. In real time, Latrice and Marie have worked out their issues, and they really are in a good space. In real time. But in that, you can see this episode where you can see the ice thawing a little bit, which was a good thing. All of a sudden, the doorbell rings. Ding dong. Leticia gets up to go get the door, and she comes back with Selena. Once again, blindsiding So Gucci. And So Gucci is like, why is she insisting that we be cool? Like, why is she insisting? Why is she forcing this moment? So Gucci, I guess, finally was like, you know what, damn. All right, fine. If we're going to talk, let's talk. She said, but I don't feel like that needs to be a conversation in front of everybody. So can y'all leave so we can have a conversation, baby? Why them other ladies was like, baby, Marie couldn't get up there fast enough, okay? Marie couldn't jump up fast enough. She said, okay. But y'all know the one person that didn't want to leave? That damn Leticia. Now, look, girl. You've been trying to force these ladies to come together and have this conversation. They finally getting ready to come together and have this conversation. And now you mad because you ain't in the middle of it. You mad because they want to have it without you. Girl, go sit down somewhere. Girl, bye. Girl, go sit down somewhere. Now you finally getting what you in production wanted. Let them ladies talk. Leticia does that snake crap, and then she gets to doing the whole high pitch, what's wrong. Right. She was like, and then she came in there talking about what's the problem? Like, she don't understand why everybody's side-eyeing her ass. Like, she don't understand why everybody's looking at her crazy. Girl, they looking at you crazy because what is this? And that's where the episode ended, child. I'm sorry. Does Leticia think this is her show? She must. She must. So that's where the episode ended. So next week, I guess we're going to get the conversation that everybody been waiting to get, child. Is she the Kyle or the Belle? Well, you know, on every reality show, production has that person that they know that they can use and manipulate. And Leticia is that person on this show. It used to be Leticia and Marie, but I think Marie is like, look, count me out. Count me out of your foolishness. But anyway, that's the episode, you guys. Tomorrow, I will not be doing Love and Marriage Huntsville on my channel. You guys can check out Shade in the City because I believe they're still going to do it. So if you want to hear, y'all know I got to go to church with my mama tomorrow. Tomorrow night, we will get the Real Housewives of Potomac. Monday afternoon, Married to Medicine, and then the Whether You Like It or Not panel later on that evening. Tuesday, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Next weekend, you will not get any reviews next weekend. Y'all know I'm going out of town. So that is your lineup, you guys. And I'm gonna try to get with Niecy and get back on track with with the Real Housewives of New York. And Lord, I'm gonna try to get y'all back on track. I know I'm so far behind on Salt Lake City. I haven't even watched like the last 3 episodes. So I'm trying, child. I'm trying. I don't know why I get so behind on Salt Lake City. I don't know why. Anyway, that happened last season. I got behind on Salt Lake City. I don't know why I get behind on Salt Lake City like that. Anyway, I think because I don't go live, I try to just do the uploads and yeah. Anyway, moving right along. That's what it is. Don't waste your time. Well, that's part of why we ain't done New York because, child, I'm so sick of New York. Anyway, I didn't even watch this episode. Last week's episode of Salt Lake City was entertaining. Salt Lake City is good. I'm surprised. Yeah, and it's not that I don't enjoy it. I just don't know why I get behind, and it's just so hard for me to get caught up. I don't know. But I got to get caught up. I am going to get caught up. They just filmed the reunion, so I don't have too much longer. They just filmed it. And, baby, they said that Angie had first chair. So I know I done missed something if Angie asked them messed around and got first chair. So I got to go check it out. Anyway, with that being said, that's what it is. I will talk to y'all later. Mwah. Enjoy your evening, ladies and gentlemen.